Hey guys, it's Megan from the church. I'm also nurse, mom, and all the other, things that we can identify ourselves with. But I choose to identify with Christ first, right? So I'm a nurse over at Mason General, and I am also part of your guys' board. And this is my Rona story. Yeah, being a nurse during this virus is definitely different. Scary, but also kind of, I don't want to say exhilarating, but kind of like this is what we do. This is what we're here for, even though it's really scary. And some of the things are just funny because we're literally changing policies every 5 seconds to try to keep up with whatever's going on, what's new, what is recommended, what's not recommended. And just even just the get up that we're in is quite comical. I mean, it's like a bicycle helmet on steroids with this like pack that keeps the air going in there so you're not breathing the air in the room. And I'm 6'1". Okay, so the sinks in the hospital have like a TV shelf above them, and I already have to kind of duck to not hit them. And then to top it off, you're wearing this like massive bicycle helmet looking thing that has battery packs and clamps and hoods, and I hit my head every time. Every time. You would think I would learn, but I don't, and I still hit my head on the counter, on the shelf above it. And just in general, the things that we don't think about, having someone with COVID who's also a falls risk, and how long it takes you to actually get into that get up as you're trying to yell in the room for them not to jump out of bed, and you're trying to put the shoe things on, and you're trying to put the hood thing on, and all the things are trying to, and it doesn't work well. um, so and just the 5 million questions that you answer one question and then you have about 10 more questions, and then so it's been a lot, but something that I have truly seen through all of it is not only have my Mason General people been amazing, we've laughed through a lot of it. You have to laugh at something at some point, just kind of just be like, this is hysterical because we're just trying to figure out all these things, and it's created this sense of camaraderie. Like, we're in the trenches in this. We're, battling this out on the front lines, trying to figure things out in a daily. And so, I mean, it's just been a little bit crazy, but also really heartwarming in the sense that our community has come together. In the middle of this, come to work, and there's signs outside of our hospital saying thank you, and just literally brought tears to my eyes coming into work, just knowing that, like, wow, we're appreciated, and people see that this is scary for us. In the beginning, coming home and like, okay, neighbors, don't look because I am stripping in the driveway, like, or I, in the garage so that I can get all of my nurse stuff off before I enter my home for my family, and trying to figure out, like, okay, well, if I touch this, should I do that? Should I not do this? And just trying to clean everything and make sure everything's there. Like, okay, nobody touch me. I'm going straight to the showers. Okay, no one can be in my shower for 2 hours, in the bathroom, in the bedroom. There's so many things that are in the background that people don't see as part of our story. But I've been super encouraged with just getting cards. I've actually got cards from the church, which I appreciate so much, just saying thank you. And that was a huge one. Seeing the signs, people just reaching out like, hey, I know you're a nurse in this, and what can I do for you? And it's been really heartwarming to see all of that and just the camaraderie that has come out of it. But we're okay. We're doing good. And, we're definitely taking all the precautions that we need to take, and doing it really well. And I've been really proud of the hospital for doing it. So. Honestly, like at the beginning, it wasn't, I mean, it was scary, it was terrifying, but it was kind of this like, okay, we can do this. We're going to bunker down for 30 days. We're going to stay in the house. We're going to make it fun. We're going to have like Friday where we go to like a virtual field trip, and I mean, do all the things. And it was kind of this is like, oh, okay, it's like a break, getting back to not having 50,000 things to do and just being able to spend time with the kids. And then it just kind of, you started going into this grieving mode where we can't do anything. We can't go anywhere. We can't see our friends. We can't have normal birthday parties. And it was kind of like, okay, well, this is just kind of what we have to do. And then as it kept going, it just has gotten harder and harder. And like the grieving has gotten more like, I really want to go to the movies. I want to go out to dinner. Like the normal, like we're grieving normalcy. and those things, and it's like okay to grieve those things, but it's also a scary thought to think of what our new normal is going to be. And I'm sure that we'll like get back to this eventually, but it's just like I miss going to church, I miss seeing everybody, I miss seeing the kids, I miss all the things. And so just kind of trying to weed it out, like, okay, we're gonna get a basketball hoop so we can like play basketball at the house. And the kids ended up not going back to school, so you're like, okay, we're gonna get a trampoline, like, so this is like PE time, we're gonna knock this out, like we can do this. And I think I say that so much during the day just so that I'll believe it because it's really hard. It's been really hard, and I think I mentally have been like, okay, I need a break. I'm married, but my husband lives up in Snohomish County, so I'm still by myself. So it's kind of this mentally figuring out, oh, I didn't realize how many little times during the day that I cherished, as far as just like whether it's my time doing my devotionals in the morning before I go to work, which now the kids are awake for, and having breakfast with me, which is great. But it also took away that like little moment that I had before work to get ready. The evenings where or like even just during the day when they're supposed to go to school, and like I can get housework done, but now I'm teacher. And then in the evenings, I'm like, okay, it's time for bed at 7:45. Like that's our start time. And I've really come to realize that, oh, by 9 o'clock, you get a whole nother mom. Like I need that time to be a mom so that I can be a better mom. And so now the kids know if we're approaching 8:30 and we're not in bed, I'm like, it is almost 9. And they get ready really, really fast because they know that I need my time. So it's been rearranging a lot of things, refocusing things to know that I need certain things so I can be better for them, and that they need certain things so they can be better for me. And then just kind of that really trying to figure all of that out and realizing that I am not Superwoman, and that's okay. I actually had a very profound conversation with Ethan because I was like, okay, we're going to go back to distance learning and it'll be okay. Like, we're going to try to make it fun. And I didn't realize that we were going to have a Zoom at 9, at 10:30, at 1:10, at 12, like all of these things like staggered throughout the day. So we can't go anywhere. We can't actually make it fun. And so Ethan was really struggling, and I just said, I am sorry, like I really don't know how to be mom, nurse, and teacher. Like if you're at school and you're upset with your teacher, you can come home and tell me about it, but I'm partly your teacher, so what do I do? Like I don't know what I need to do for you. And he said probably the most profound thing an 11-year-old could possibly say. He's like, I just need you to be mom. I just need mom. And I was like, oh, thank God, that I can do. Like I can be mom, and that's okay. So, and that's been a huge difference just in that situation of just trying to get through our days. It hasn't been easy though.
So you also had an additional level of extra trying to plan a wedding.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So,
yes.
I mean, is there anything you want to share about what it was like to try to get married in the midst of a pandemic?
It was heartbreaking to a degree. Plus, my new stepson was supposed to graduate this year. And so we had cancellation of graduation, which was really, all the senior things that he's worked so hard to do. So that was really difficult to watch him go through. Like a wedding, I can reschedule. You can't reschedule your graduation. So it was really sad to see him just lose that momentous occasion, that mark in time when you are supposed to be celebrating something special. So we tried our best to do that. The wedding was kind of a hot mess, but it worked. It was fine. But at the same time, it was really, we tried to take everything with as much grace as we possibly could. Like, okay, we can't have the wedding that we thought we were going to have right now. All right, well, we'll just do this. Okay, we can't have the honeymoon that we were going to plan. Okay, well, we'll just do this. And then that got canceled. And it was just kind of like one thing after another. It was very discouraging. It was kind of supposed to be this amazing thing. And as it was intimately very a beautiful ceremony, but losing kind of that honeymoon, losing the time together was really hard. I was really happy that we were able to redo it in July and have like our wedding and have a little honeymoon that really like actually fed my soul. You know, so, but it just trying to take everything with grace, even though it was incredibly disappointing, was taxing. It got to be very taxing. You know, honestly, I have found him in the most unexpected places. Through all of this, it's been, wow, okay, this is a lot. Um, but I've learned a long time ago that, okay, when this is a lot, I can't carry it by myself. So finding him in the small moments, sitting on my back patio, listening to the creek, reading my devotionals in the morning, finding different places to see him throughout our days, and just even in the kids, um, looking for the positive. Like, always look for him because he's always there. And we have a lot going on right now. It's crazy. It's unexpected. It's unprecedented. All the words that we've been hearing for months now that are just like graying on your nerve every time you hear them now, you're just like, oh, okay. Um, but even in that, looking at, okay, but we've got more family time and we're able to do devotionals together as a family because we slowed down. And I think that honestly, God worked in such a crazy way through all of this because we slowed down. So we were able to spend time as a family. We were able to sit at the dining room table and have dinner and talk and have prompting questions and have conversations about Bible verses that we weren't necessarily doing before because we were so busy that it kind of had edged him to the side. And so with this, it's been a reminder of reflection by far. Like, everything else is kind of quiet, and so all you hear the voice that you've been hearing, but you've been kind of like, okay, yeah, I'll get to that. And it's a lot louder, like, okay, now do you have time for me? Can we spend time together now? Um, Funny, I think it was a few months into this, and I would always read my Bible verse in the morning, but it was kind of, I realized it was a checkbox. I would get up and I'm like, okay, I've read my verse, let's go. It wasn't like something that I actually spent time on and I needed to. And so, and then because I was losing kind of that morning time where I had these birds that were chirping out my window. And I was like, for the love, I finally get to sleep in and there's birds waking me up at 5:30 in the morning. You've got to be kidding me. And I hear God say, yeah, that's me. Because do you have time now? And I was like, oh, yes. Yes, I have time. So, funny thing is that as soon as I started making it a priority, that not only in the morning when the birds would wake me up to sit and do a devotional by myself, but then I made it a point throughout the day to be reading some of my devotionals or just reading the Bible or just talking to the kids about it, and the birds stopped. So it was kind of this like really profound, hey, I really need you to spend time with me. And you're not listening very well. So here it is again. I'm going to interrupt your sleep that you treasure so dearly so that you will listen to me. So um, it, it's actually been really good for me. It's been really good because I've always turned to God in hard times, and you are always, turn to Him in good times. But it has made it to where you daily, even with the kids, like, they're like, this was such a hard day and I hate my Zoom class and I hate this and this is horrible. And like, okay, but where did God work today? Where's the positive for today? What can we thank Him for today? And it was a slow go, but at first it's kind of like, sometimes it's even, I got out of bed. I can walk. We have a roof over our head. I have groceries on the table. I have a job to go to. And, then it's progresses where the kids are starting to find, and me, of course, but trying to find where the light is, where the good is, just look for the good, because it's always there. It's just sometimes harder to find. So spiritually, I think I'm in a much better place than I was even right before coronavirus hit, because I've had to slow down enough to realize that I wasn't spending the time that I should have doing the things that I should have been doing and giving Him the time that He wanted. And it took the quiet of not having anywhere to go and anything to do to hear it. So, yeah, that was profound moments. He's everywhere, and that's what's so amazing. In the smallest of things, just people checking on people, and neighbors reaching out, and do you have everything that you need? People have shown the good in themselves through all of this. And there's a lot of ugly, but I choose not to focus on that because there's so much more good if we just look really closely. Um, I have found it in cards that people have sent, goodie bags that people have dropped off for the kids. I have found him in the kids themselves, just wanting to do something for somebody, or going around and checking on the neighbors to see if they need any help with anything. And, I've also found it in relationships that I've actually been able to feed more. In one of my neighbors and I, like, both are single moms at the moment, and we've been doing dinner exchanges where I make a dinner and drop it off on her porch, or she makes a dinner and drops it off on my porch, and just those small things that have, like, just fed your soul, and seeing that people truly have God in them every single day, and we're not alone, and we're together in this, and we can see him in those little things, and we can choose to use those moments to see the hope in the future that we have our family, we have our kids, we have our friends, and even though we're not all together right now, we're together in this, and we'll all be together at some point soon, I hope. And I just see God working in everybody to be creative. That is one thing I have seen so much of. Like, we're one creative group of people. We have come up with some of the most amazing ways to do things that we never would have thought of because we were challenged to do so now, but we weren't before. And so I see things going in so many different directions, taking the little things that have worked out so well with this and putting it back into our normal, and making our normal, when it comes back, to even better. And I think that there's so much hope in all of this, just because we're people who are good people, and we do good things, and when we look for the good, we will find it. Hey, Shelton Naz, I miss you guys so much, and I know this is hard, but we're in this together. I'm still here, and we're all still in this together, and I miss you guys, and I can't wait to see you guys again.